another term. If his family would please come forward. Do you, Corey Spiller, solemnly swear you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and you will bear faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state with the authority of the people? And you will faithfully, impartially, and justly enforce all the laws and perform all the duties of the office of Third Ward Councilman to the best of your ability? So help you God.
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time I'd like to call up Councilman Patel to be sworn in for a new term. Councilman and his family, please. Do you, Viru Patel, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that you will bear faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state and with the authority of the people? You will faithfully, impartially, and justly enforce all the laws and perform all the duties of the office of Fourth Ward Councilman according to the best of your ability, so help you God.
One more. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Do you, Harold Bauer, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that you will bear faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state and with the authority of the people? You will faithfully, impartially, and justly enforce all the laws and all the duties of the office of Second Ward Councilman according to the best of your ability, so help me God.
I do.
At this time, I'd like to call up Councilman Remain to be sworn in for another term. Family, please join us as well. Do you, Debbie Meehan, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that you will bear faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state and with the authority of the people? You will faithfully, impartially, and justly enforce all the laws and perform all the duties of the office of Councilman of the Fifth Ward according to the best of your ability, so help you God. Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I ask that you all remain standing for a moment of silence, keeping in your thoughts and prayers the men and women of our military and our late Councilwoman Nancy Drumm. notice requirements of the open public meeting law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger published a notice on December 10th, 2021. A copy of the schedule was posted on the municipal bulletin board, and it should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. At this time, council will entertain a motion for council president for the year 2022. Anybody want to be recognized?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilwoman De Jesus.
I nominate Council Vice President Howard Bauer for president. He has been serving the second ward as its councilman since 2018. But more importantly, he has been serving the community, of course, since 2002, whether as a volunteer in the Forts Fire Company or through his work with youth sports. Howard deeply cares about the community that not only he represents, but lives in and has raised his family in. He is my partner in the back-to-school backpack drives, the free little libraries, the Casey Community Day, and with his help, we have had many successful events throughout the township. He is passionate about helping all of our constituents and treats everyone with respect and kindness. Councilman Bauer is dedicated to his wife Ingrid and their children Emily and Thomas. I am honored to call him my friend and colleague. I have the utmost confidence that Councilman Bauer will serve Woodbridge Township as president for the best of all.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Do I have a second on her motion?
I'd like to second the motion. I'd like to second the nomination for Councilman Bauer to hold the position of Woodbridge Township Council President. Howie, I know you will do an amazing job leading this council.
With courage and most importantly with fairness.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah. Howie, I know you would do an amazing job leading this council into the new year. I know you will lead us with strength and courage, and most importantly with fairness, compassion for every resident that resides in Woodbridge Township, regardless of their race, their religion, or their sexual preference. I know you put everything into what you do. And as council president, that will make you a wonderful leader. I, along with my council mates, our team, are honored to sit up here along with you as you lead us as president to 2022.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for president? Any other nominations for president? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, Mr. President. Do you, Howard Bauer, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that you will bear faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people? You will faithfully, impartially, and justly enforce all the laws and perform all the duties of the office of Council President according to the best of your ability, so help you God. I do. President, would you like to make any comments?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mitch. First and foremost, to my family, my number one supporters. Without your support, none of this would be possible. Thank you for your patience, kindness, and understanding as I go forth again to represent my community. It's an honor and a privilege to be recognized by my peers and have this opportunity to serve as your council president. Thank you to Councilwoman De Jesus and Meehan for their kind words on my nomination. To my fellow councilmates, thank you for your guidance, support, and insight and answering all my questions on this journey together. Each of you are special in your own special way and always have the heart of the community in the forefront. Thank you to the administration, Mayor McCormick, Mr. Mitch, our directors, and all our employees who work hard every day for the success of our community. Again, thank you for this opportunity to serve not only the 2nd Ward, but all the residents of Woodbridge Township. Thank you very much.
Thank you. At this time, I entertain motions for a vice president for 2022. Anybody? Mr. Councilman Anderson.
Mr. Mitch, I'd like to make a nomination for Council Vice President. Councilman Ficarra is our most tenured council member and has led our council in the past. He sports a tremendous resume with vast experience and proves himself to be an invaluable member of our team. He is poised and offers thoughtful, researched responses and would serve as an excellent partner to our council president. I ask that my council mates please consider Councilman Ficarra for Council Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a second on that motion?
Mr. Mitch, I would like to second the nomination. I second the nomination of Councilman Ficarra for Council Vice President. Greg has been serving Woodbridge Township as a councilman for the last 14 years. He is passionate about improving the lives of everyone through physical and wellness activities. He has become a champion for mental health and is the first to learn and share with us all any initiatives that can be beneficial for our residents. Greg is always willing to share his experience and knowledge with us all. His honesty and care makes it easy to go to him for advice in the toughest of situations. Councilman Ficarra is a dedicated husband, father, and grandfather. I am honored to second his nomination for Council Vice President because I truly believe that he will serve all in Woodbridge Township with sincerity and without bias.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Are there any other nominations for Vice President? Any other nominations for Vice President?
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Just call me, I can take my mask.
Do you, Greg Ficarra, solemnly swear you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey? You will bear faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state and the authority of the people. You will faithfully, impartially, and justly enforce the laws and perform all the duties of the office of Council Vice President according to the best of your ability.
I do. Mr. President. Anything, sir? People move very fast.
I'll let you sit before I ask any comments.
Well, the only comment is to thank Kyle and Lizbeth and certainly everyone else for their support. The first time I did this, I was, if not the youngest, one of the youngest, and now I am clearly the oldest. So I don't know if I got any smarter, but I think I have some experience to share. So again, thank you to everyone. Thank you to the administration. It's an honor. Thank you, Mr. Mitch, Mr. President.
I'm going to run down through a roll call. Councilman Spiller. Here. Councilman Ficarra.
Here.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilman Patel. Here. Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
Council President Bauer. Here. And Councilman Small.
Here.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from December 14th, 2021?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any
Oh,
questions
second.
or
I'm sorry,
comments?
second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Going through the agenda this evening, if I can get a motion to approve the first two resolutions listed as 1 and 2, the appointment of the council president and vice president. Could I get a motion by consent for both?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We only have first reading ordinances this evening, listed as letters A through D on your agenda. Could I get a motion that these ordinances be taken up, passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on Friday, January 7th, 2022, with notice of public hearing to be held on January 18th, 2022 at 6 p.m.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And the remaining resolutions, 3 through 32, could I get a motion by consent to approve 3 through 32?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Councilman Patel?
Yes, I'm abstaining from number 7.
Number 7, sir? Any other questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. President?
At this time, with the Mayor McCormick for our comments.
Thank you, Council President. I would first like to thank former Council President Brian Small for his leadership of the Township Council in another very difficult year, and congratulate new President Howie Bauer and new Vice President Greg Ficarra, and wish them the best of luck this year. We have always enjoyed a terrific working relationship with the Council as a separate but co-equal branch of government, and the residents of Woodbridge Township have benefited from us working together to improve their quality of life. Woodbridge Township suffered a terrible loss early Sunday afternoon with the passing of First Ward Councilwoman Nancy Bader Drumm. Nancy fought a very courageous 9-month battle with cancer. She was just re-elected to her 3rd term on the council and would have been sworn in tonight. Nancy was in politics, but she was not a politician. Nancy was purely a public servant who thoroughly enjoyed her time on the council because she was able to help people, which was her passion. She would do anything for anybody at any time. She was an amazingly positive person who lit up the room wherever she was. She never spoke ill of anyone, and no one ever spoke bad about her. It was simply impossible to be sad or mad if you were around Nancy Drumm. She leaves behind a husband, mother, son, daughter, and 2 grandchildren. But she also leaves behind a huge extended family of all the people who knew her as a friend, all who worked with her as a colleague, and all who knew her as the councilwoman who improved their quality of life due to her commitment and dedication to the people of Woodbridge Township. You all know we're the best town around because we have the best team around, but our team is not as strong today as it was just days ago because we lost a cherished and valuable teammate. Rest in peace, Nancy Drumm.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, we'll go to the public portion of our meeting. If you approach the mic, please state your name, part of the township or state you are from. You have a one-time 5-minute time period. All video taking must be taken within a designated area in the rear of the room, and there will be no shouting from your seats, and please respect each other's and each other's views. Thank you.
Is there anybody who has any public comment this evening? Hearing no public comment, could I get a motion that the public comment portion be closed?
Good evening, James Dabrowski, Woodbridge proper. 1 year later, after the failed January 6th coup attempt, the Proud Boys terrorist hate group are on the run and are now being sued by the DC Attorney General under the Ku Klux Klan Act for their role in the deadly insurrection. More than 36 of the insurrectionists that have been charged in horrific attack on our democracy have been identified as Proud Boys, with at least 16 of them additionally being charged with conspiracy. As a result, the Proud Boys are now terrifyingly turning their focus on school board and town council meetings across the country in an alarming attempt to regroup and reorganize. They're using anti-science and anti-DEI white rage to infiltrate local forums in a last-ditch effort to recruit supporters and normalize their hateful bigotry. The plan of attack is to get involved at the local level, stated a North Carolina member of the neo-fascist hate group in a December 14th New York Times article warning of this terrifying trend. Here in Woodbridge, New Jersey, the self-proclaimed best town around, the Proud Boys have targeted our Woodbridge Township School District Board of Education meetings and also our last Woodbridge Council meeting. Woodbridge Mayor John McCormick and his council were literally begged to say something, anything, as 6 Proud Boys dressed in their notorious black and yellow gang colors debased our December 14th council meeting, with one of them even reading a disgustingly transphobic, racist, and threatening statement on this very microphone, anonymously, of course. But our pleas to our elected officials were callously met with their deafening silence. A News 12 New Jersey statewide broadcast filmed right outside this building reported, the Proud Boys stated that they plan on coming to more Woodbridge meetings. At this time, the mayor of Woodbridge still has not commented. We did reach out to that individual. How embarrassing. As we know too well from the lessons of the past, if the cancer of hatred is ignored and tolerated, it will only grow and spread. It must always be confronted and condemned. Our Woodbridge Township students are reminded in our school district's anti-racism pledge to stand against racism wherever it appears. Why won't those who have been elected to lead them set the example? When Proud Boys in North Carolina targeted the Orange County Schools District, their superintendent and Board of Education stood up for their students, staff, and community members by passing an anti-racist resolution condemning the hate group and condemning white nationalism and white supremacy. Our Woodbridge Board of Education and Central Administration were all emailed a copy of this resolution on November 22nd, urging them to pass a similar one, but not one of them has even bothered to respond. As the parent of a Woodbridge Township School District student, not only do I find this extremely unprofessional, but also deeply hurtful. You would think our elected officials would do something to stand up for our community, but it has become very clear over the years that the McCormick team is sadly not at all committed to anti-racism. I mean, the mayor of Woodbridge Township unbelievably called our nation's largest racial justice movement awful, and then disgracefully lied about it on the record at our October 19th council meeting. What's truly awful, of course, is the frightening fact that hate indeed has a home here in Woodbridge under the McCormick machine. To the council members who claim to have a conscience, please, we know crossing a powerful, connected, and vindictive man like John McCormick is scary, but we're asking you to have the courage to stand up for our community and finally let it be known loud and clear that hate does not have a home here in Woodbridge, that the Proud Boys terrorist hate group are not welcome here. The bar has never been lower for you. This is the absolute bare minimum. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. reminds us, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Please, I yield the remainder of my time for your response. Council President Bauer, anything?
I have no comment at this time.
No comment about a terrorist hate group coming to our last meeting and saying vile, transphobic, racist, threatening comments?
I have no comment.
My goodness. Mayor McCormick, anything to say to the Proud Boys after you've had some time to digest what occurred here last meeting and at our Woodbridge Board of Ed meetings? What a disgrace. Please skip the photo ops and the speeches for MLK Day, as your chilling silence dishonors his life and legacy. I said it last meeting, and I meant it from the very bottom of my heart. Shame on all of you. Justice for Nigeria Parks, justice for Jeremiah Daniels Porter, Black Lives Matter. Hate has no home here in Woodbridge Township. You won't say it, we will.
Thank you. Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
Yes.
You're up, sir.
Am I recognized?
You recognize once you state your name and from where you're from, please.
I don't believe the law
Will you please state your name and where you're from?
Jersey Watcher YouTube channel, South Edison. Am I recognized?
Excuse me, what was that?
Jersey Watcher YouTube channel, South Edison. Am I recognized?
Yeah, he's on.
All right, you're recognized.
Thank you. But I just didn't want to argue with you, but the Sunshine Law says when it's the public's time to speak, let them speak. Nowhere does it say we have to give our name and address. Thank you. So January 7th is Christmas for the Orthodox Christians. I hope somebody up there can, say something about that when it's your time to speak. God bless Councilwoman Nancy Drumm. I don't have any comments on anything Jimmy had to say. Good job, Jimmy. At least somebody gets up to speak in this town, I think discrimination has a home here in Woodbridge. Jimmy talked about hate having a home here in Woodbridge. I believe discrimination has a home here in Woodbridge. I believe it's discriminatory when we have a councilwoman up there, Councilwoman Elizabeth DeJesus, charging a member of the public, which is me, for an ordinance violation. What ordinance did I break? Why are we? I have video footage of members of the public screaming, getting in other people's faces, being thrown out, cursing. Did you charge them ever with an ordinance violation? Councilwoman Elizabeth DeJesus, how many members of the public have you charged, through the chair, of course, how many members of the public have you charged with an ordinance violation? Am I the only one you've ever charged with? Is it because of my political affiliation that you won't dare charge anyone else from the opposite side of the aisle, even though they're clearly doing wrong? I mean, Woodbridge Police removed me. I'm going to have to face a defiant trespass, which I'm sure I'm going to beat. But for you to come to every meeting for an ordinance violation seems a little bit strange to me. It seems a little bit retaliatory and discriminatory. And that's just, that's just how I view it. What ordinance did I break? Decorum. I didn't follow rules of decorum. I have many videos of other members of the public. You failed to charge them. Why did you charge me? Do you even remember what rule I broke? As I recall, it was my time to speak, and I had that radical case on Little from Elizabeth just screaming at me.
We're not going to be trying that case here, and any questions...
We're not sir,
any questions have to come through my seat.
And I said through the chair, and this is public comments, and Lozeman versus Riviera Beach Supreme Court ruling, I can speak on any topic I'd like, including monkeys and the International Space Station. So, may I continue? I said through the chair. So, through the chair. It seems rather strange to me that something like that's happened. Speaker Coughlin, it really does. It seems, I don't think I'm acting wild. This is my opinion. I do believe I deserve a response on it. And I really do feel that, would you like me to send you the emails of those videos of people screaming the F word, about to jump right on somebody? I mean, the member, he's here. I'm not going to point out who it is because it doesn't matter. He shouldn't be charged. But it just goes to show that, and we can see who she's good friends with up here. I'm not going to name any names, but we can see who always firsts and seconds, one after right another. And it's a circus. How much time do I have left? You don't like what I'm saying, Fikar? You don't like what I have to say? How much time do I have?
You have a minute left, sir.
1 minute left? It's absolutely disgusting to me, Everyone has a right to their opinion. We can agree and disagree with people, but to retaliate with members of the public, to use bully and intimidation tactics, which is maliciously prosecuting members of the public and hope you can scare them from coming back to this meeting, that's absolutely unacceptable. That's not what America's supposed to be for. And, each one of you, even though she wrote it, she represents the whole council, and that's a shame on not only the whole council, but this whole city as a whole, for you guys to even allow. So, I'm going to send you, Council President, some videos of members of the public breaking decorum. I would like to know I didn't do nothing wrong. It was actually my time to speak. It was my time to speak when I was removed.
Thank you for your time.
You're not welcome.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, Tom Maris, Forge, New Jersey. I'd like to start off by echoing the words of Mayor McCormick and grieving for the loss of Councilman Bader Drumm. I extend my deepest condolences to the Bader family and the Drumm family. She was a remarkable woman, dedicated to this town, and a very loving, caring person. And she is greatly missed, and I know that everybody here on the council feels it, as do I. Political differences aside, she was a good person and dedicated to this town, and I think she will be sorely missed. Moving on, I'd also like to thank or congratulate new President Bauer on becoming, and good luck for the next year. It's sure going to be interesting. There's an old Chinese saying, may you be born in interesting times, and I think you have been. So good luck with that, and I'm sure we're all looking forward to working with you. There are a couple of things I'd like to ask as questions and then answer them if you can in the time permitted. Two, and then I want to address something else very quickly. And that is, regard to the Ross Street School, there is a proposal to put 94 apartment units directly across from it. In talking to the school administration, they tell me they still own that property and it has not been given up, nor they have been approached by it. And yet here at the council meeting, I think we have heard it has been alluded that there's going to be a parking, 5-story, 250 parking spot going on North James Street, and around the corner of these apartments will be directly across from the school. I'd like to get confirmation about how that's going to be done, since the school still owns the property, and how is the developer going forward looking to get variances or easements for the property there, if it in fact is still school board property. The second issue is school board security. At the recent Board of Education meeting, they raised the payment schedule for off-duty police officers to come into the schools in plain clothes for security reasons. I'd like to know why the town is not providing those officers on pay from the township, rather than making the school pay for it, and yet currently the equipment the township is giving is not being charged to the school board. So can somebody please explain that? And then finally, I'd like to address Mr. Dombrowski again. Despicable as usual, false narratives as usual, citing things which aren't true, attacking the mayor with disrespect, attacking this council with disrespect. He shows exactly what he stands for. And when I refer to Black Lives Matter, I do say Black Lives Matter. As far as Black Lives organization is concerned, it stinks. It is crud. And I have no problem saying that. So if you hear me in the future saying Black Lives Matter, I am specifically referring to that organization, which was started by an actual insurrectionist that planted a bomb in Washington, D.C. back in 1986, and was later pardoned by President Clinton. You want to talk about a despicable, despicable organization? I could think of no greater one. They're divisive, they're racist, and all they want to do is promulgate more problems in a town that does not share. And I'd like to know why they're allowed to put their literature in an aisleway. Is that not blocking an aisleway? Should it not be removed? That's the question, sir. Should it be removed, and will you have it removed?
So the only thing, if I can say, Mr. President, so we'll address that in the future. The carpet is designed, laid out, and that is an aisleway. So yes, and I will ask that they just move and take it out of there.
Thank you. And as far as the Proud Boys are concerned, I was in attendance at 2 school board meetings where they were there. They created absolutely no disruption. They spoke to no one, and they behaved themselves with aplomb. When they were here, they did the same thing. They voiced their opinion. They talked about their organization, their beliefs. But I think they spoke to this council with all the due respect that it deserves. Again, unlike the other people that come here and badmouth you and want to incite hatred, they didn't do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, the answers to my two questions, if you swear.
Yes, the answer to the question about the Rush Street School, the land, the parking lot right across from the school is owned by the school. It's expected to be sold to the developer. The developer also purchased already 107 Ross Street, which is a house right next to that parking lot behind Mosaic Salon. The parking lot that we own next to the school parking lot is also going to be purchased by the developer, and that's where they will put the complex, and then the parking deck will go from the auto use on Route 35 at the corner of that and North James Street, plus the two homes, and that will be, as you said, a 5-story deck. I think it's about 255 spots. The bottom floor of that deck will then be dedicated to the school district between 7:30 and 3:30 every day. That's about 55 spots, and they will have complete access to that. And then at nights and on weekends, it'll be for shoppers and for diners, and the higher floors of the parking deck will be reserved for the tenants. As for the school security, I'm very reluctant to discuss school security issues publicly. The town has always provided off-duty officers to the schools as far back as '92 when I was a town CFO. So that's 30 years. I would really leave it up to them. If you don't mind, let them explain why they do it. They want to do it that way. We are pretty much tapped out on our manpower, and we're still, always seeking to increase the manpower. So it's not always possible for us to do that on regular duty, and that is so important that it really has to be done by officers when they're not already working. And again, I would refer you to Dr. Massimino in the school district after that.
Thank you. I will speak to them again, but my question still goes forward. Why don't you cover the expense then instead of charging the school for the hourly rate for the officers? You could
The
pay
answer
them
is
for
it
working.
doesn't really matter who covers an expense. The same taxpayers pay the school taxes as pay the town taxes. So whether we pay it and don't charge the board, or whether the board pays it directly and we don't, it really doesn't matter because it's still being charged to the same taxpayers across the board.
They're two separate budgets, sir, and that's why they're...
No, they are, but it's,
Excuse me, Mr. Rankin,
for
your time's up.
30 years,
Thank
it's
you
been
very
a school district expense.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who has any comment this evening?
John Bertari, Woodbridge. Mayor, you really touched a lot of hearts tonight. Let's talk about Nancy Drumm. Some people, they were hard, and she had a heart. And she shared it with the other people. The other people loved her. With a smile. Not just that, like myself, I was fortunate enough to know her family, her uncles, her father, most of the people. And they're special kind of people. We know where they came from. We know what they brought about it. They're people, they love people, people love them. And again, we all make a decisions. It's a great loss at a young age. But again, I think she'll be remembered for a long time, especially in Woodbridge proper. And not just her, if you look at her family, them too. They're not just that people that came here yesterday and ran the town. They were here for a long, long time. They grew up in this town, they cherish this town, and they love this town, they love the people. But again, it's a great loss, and I'm sorry that happened. We're sorry that it happened. But let's God bless her and pray with us and the family. And of course, the grandchildren, husband, you and everybody else. So it was just a great loss. And again, talk about Happy New Year. Congratulations, everybody. And we gotta go on. And like I said, if you have any kind of a human dignity, we should never forget things like that could happen to any of us and any families. Again, let's put all the things what we said that people said beside us. But again, we're better the community and the people like our children, our grandchildren. They're going to grow up with her grandchildren and their children. We have to keep the community together. Mayor, quite a few times I asked you about the Hungarian church, St. Hungarian Makama Church. And I understand you said you're not buying the church, you will buy the building alongside of it, rectory and the school. And when you talk to parishioners of the building, they're very involved into it. And the bishop insists the package of the deal will be the church too. Because I understand Macomb Church, and I built the St. Anthony's Church in Port Reading. There was some kind of a IOU to the bishop, and bishop gets money, so he wants to sell those two churches. And I don't think people in Port Reading would ever come to the point to sell the church. But the Hungarian church is the people that try to negotiate the deal, and that you do have money that was given to you from the state, and you have to spend it before, supposed to be like end of the year, which is a couple of days ago. And my question is still, are you buying the church?
Mr. Fataric, I think the mayor answered your question a few meetings ago. Would you like to answer that?
Yes, first of all, the church came to us. We didn't go knock on their door and say, we'd like to buy you. They came to us, and we have interest in the property. In particular, we'd like the community center to the left of the church, looking from Route 35, to be a second home for our house, which is Hope Autism Solutions, which is a group of 24 right now, 24 special needs adults over 21 years of age that go to Cyprus every day to the new wing we built there. And there's a very significant demand for more slots for that community. So we're looking for that. We are buying that. We are buying the school building. We don't know what we'll do with that yet. We are buying the rectory building, which we intend to knock down to make parking for the rest of the site. We are not buying the church. The diocese would like to sell us the church at some point in the future when they have done whatever it is they do to decommission it or whatever it takes, and they still have an active group there. So we agreed that when they're ever ready to sell it, we will buy it, but that's not the plan now. That could be 2 years from now, could be 5 years from now. That's not being discussed right now. So right now, the answer is we are not buying the church. We do expect to buy it sometime into the future. As to St. Anthony's versus Mount Carmel, that's the business of the diocese. You say somebody owes this, somebody, and whatever. I don't know that. I don't care about that. We're dealing with the Diocese of Metuchen and the attorneys there and the real estate people there, and that's their business. Why they're selling it, I don't care. I just know that we think we can put that property to decent use, and we clearly have a demand with that population, which we embrace here in Woodbridge.
But if that, 5 minutes up already?
Yep, time's up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
Thank you, Mr. President. Ken Gardner, 101 Stoddard Avenue, Woodbridge. First, Councilman Barrow, I want to congratulate you. I think in the old days, I used to say there's more fires in the firehouse than out on the street from the debate that goes on there. So I know you're from that time, and I know that you'll do well as council president. Just try to keep that in the back of your head.
Thank you.
For the first time, I'm really at a loss for words. You saw me recently as an opponent to Councilwoman Drumm, but she was a great person. All you need to do is go door to door against her to find out how much she was elected people's image. Thank you to the mayor and the town for the beautiful tribute with the bagpiper. I know the friendship that she had with so many of you here, how strong it was. And although not specifically in her case, I learned in my own experiences through my family how important it is to get screened. This terrible, terrible disease that takes so many good lives. And for lack of any better words that I can offer, may God bless her. I'm sure she's warmed in heaven by her family members who have served this community, in the Woodbridge Fire Department, and in St. James Church. May God bless her family. Over the recent months, I've been kind of taken back by how many people have come to me and asked how she was, so many people that were involved in my campaign. and in hers, knowing our past relationship, hoping that I could shed some light, and I passed on the best word that I could. She was an opponent, not an enemy. And may she rest in peace.
Thank you. Are there any other comments this evening from the public? Hearing no other comments, can I get a motion that the public portion comment be closed? No, we only have time to speak. Motion. I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. This time we'll go to our agendas. My agenda's in order. First, I'd like to my Vice President, Councilman Vaccaro, our senior member here on the dais. You have proven to be a leader in this community. You actively listen and adapt to changes, and you're actively leading and guiding us, which is directly linked to the success of our team. I look forward to working with you in the upcoming year. Thank you and congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Like I said, my agenda's in order. In this horrible time, I'd like to extend my sincere condolences to the Drumm family on the passing of one of our own, Councilwoman Nancy Drumm. The loss of someone dear to us is never easy, and words cannot express the heartfelt sorrow we are feeling at this time. A beautiful soul, full of love, laughter, and life. Love of her family, friends, and her community, she will truly be missed. She will forever be cherished in our hearts and minds. I am forever grateful to have called Nancy my friend. God bless her, God bless her family, and may she rest in peace. Thank you. That's all I have tonight. Council Vice President Vaccaro.
Thank you, Council President, and I know you'll do a good job in spite of any advice that I would give you, but congratulations. Condolences also to the Drumm family from the Vaccaros, and we lost a friend, but heaven gained an angel. That's all I have to.
Thank you, Councilman Vice President Vaccaro. Councilman Small.
Thank you, Council President Bauer. I would like to first congratulate my fellow ward councilmen that were sworn in tonight on your re-election, yourself, Councilman Spiller, Councilman Patel, Councilman Meehan. To our new president, Howie Bauer, you've been a part of this community your whole life. You've been a public servant for over 30 years with the Forest Fire Department, Forest Clara Barton Little League, and the WTYRC. Not only have you enriched our children, but the residents of this community. With your re-election to victory, your hard work did not go unrecognized. As my vice president, I knew I could always turn to you for advice, and for that, it made me a better president. I have no doubt you will lead this council with great leadership. I would like to wish Greg Vaccaro, our vice president, the best of luck. You offer a wealth of knowledge and experience, and your work ethic is second to none. To my fellow council members, thank you for all your support. We faced some tough issues this past year, some popular, some not, but we never lost sight of the goal of making Woodbridge Township a place to stay and raise our families. To John Mitch, I can't thank you enough, not only for your friendship, but your guidance and support this past year. You made this administration side of a councilman easy. You're a genuinely good person and have the council's best interests in mind every day. Mr. Simaluka, thank you for your time you have given me, answering my questions, and handling every issue that I threw your way. To our directors and administrators, and to all our township employees, thank you. To Mayor McCormick, it was a pleasure to work with you as my role as president. I know firsthand that you have the best interests in Woodbridge in your heart every day. To my family, thank you for your support. This allows me to be the best public servant I can to the people of Woodbridge. And by the way, happy birthday, Kyle. My son Kyle's birthday today. To the residents of Woodbridge, it's been an honor serving you as this council president this past year. Woodbridge is not excluded from the problems that face the world today. We might not see each other issues the same, but we need to respect each other's views so we can reach a solution. Thank you.
Thank you.
In the past few days, Woodbridge has suffered a terrible loss with the passing of First Ward Councilwoman Nancy Drumm. Heartfelt condolences go out to the entire family. Nancy was a pillar to this community, and we all did better because of her dedication to Woodbridge. Not only was she a friend and a colleague, long before that, she was on the council. I knew how involved she was with this community and how much she cared about our township. We had great conversations this year, and I will cherish them forever. Rest in peace. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Small. Councilwoman De Jesus.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to echo the congratulations to our ward council people. They were sworn in today, and I have no doubt that each of you sitting here has the best interest of Woodbridge at heart. President Bauer and Council Vice President Ferrara, I have no doubt that you guys will do a great job this year. Thank you. My agenda is in order. Nancy to me was life personified. Her smile and her laugh were as big as her heart. I first met Nancy as my councilwoman. We had a concern, and Angel had mentioned it to her, and Nancy, being Nancy, showed up at my house. She was truly a public servant who loved doing the best for the residents in Ward 1. She truly, truly wanted to do her best to help everyone. Through the years in council, I had the pleasure of sitting next to her. I will miss the knowing and understanding looks that we used to share. During my year as council president, Nancy was one of the first ones to always reach out with encouragement and support. And Nancy, having a daughter, Lauren, understood and truly supported my passion to make sure that women and girls are always encouraged, supported, and represented in all areas. She was my go girl. We got this. Nancy loved her husband, her children, her grandchildren, and her family, and she loved Woodbridge Township. And for them, for us, I ask that you say a prayer. My dear friend, you will be missed. You will be hard to replace. For you, we will continue to do the work and carry on your legacy with love and kindness. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman De Jesus. Councilman Spiller.
Thank you, Council President Schwal. First, I'd like to offer my sincere thoughts to the Nancy's family. The very first thing I did on council was, as a result of Councilwoman Drumm reaching out to me of an issue that she knew about. And she's just always so helpful to not only myself, but to all of us on council. I had the pleasure to know her long before I sat up here as fire official, and she was with the Chamber of Commerce, and it was always a pleasure to see her and speak with her at all the businesses, and everybody can say about her smile and her personality. I think your opening comments, excuse me, Council President, it's hit everything right on the head. So again, just my condolences to Nancy's family. I'd just like to congratulate all my fellow ward council mates that got sworn in this evening. I look forward to working with you for another 4 years, as well as obviously the rest of the council, the mayor, administration, and the directors. And Council President Bauer, Council Vice President Ficarra, congratulations. Well deserved. It'll be a pleasure working for you and with you. And my agenda is in order. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Spiller. Councilwoman Meehan.
Congratulations, Council President, Council Vice President. I know you both do a great job. I wish I could talk about Nancy, but obviously I can't right now. But her and I started on the council 8 years ago together, and she was one of my best friends. And I'm going to dearly miss her. And she loved Woodbridge Township more than anything. Not as much as her family or her friends, but she loved this township so much, and she worked so hard for every single person. And I will truly miss my friend. So that's all. My agenda is in order.
Thank you, Councilwoman Meehan. Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Council President. First, I'd like to wish you well in your year as Council President. I know that you'll do a fantastic job. You were a great leader in your past life, and you've been a fine councilman. So I wish you well, and I'll be here to support you. Council Vice President Ficarra, I know you'll do well. If you need to, send a rubber band over to me to second you, I will make sure I stay alert. I'm going to yield my time, and I'm going to read an email that I sent to a group of mine about Nancy. I have sad news to deliver. Our beloved council member, Nancy Drumm, has passed away. As many of you know, she had been battling a sickness for the last year and a half. I've known Nancy long before either one of us were in politics. Our children were in middle and high school together. Nancy always put her family first, and she was a wonderful wife, mother, and friend. Throughout her battle, Nancy would send me text messages that she was enjoying watching my boys play sports and thrilled that they were attending her alma mater. She would also send Greg and I nice messages while we were announcing the sports games. Besides Greg and I, Nancy was the longest tenured council member. Nancy and I grew as council members together. What I will always remember is that Nancy was always willing to learn more about the social issues that we had faced over the last few years. She called me on several occasions, and she just asked me to help her understand some things. When I think of public servants, I think of someone like Nancy, someone you could go to for assistance, and when she didn't have the answer, she would do her best to get you an answer. She wasn't perfect, but who is? I will miss her smile and her laugh. This is a great reminder of how precious life is. May she rest in peace.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Councilman Patel.
Council President, my agenda is also in order. I'd like to congratulate you and Council Vice President for their great. Thank you, congratulations. For me, Nancy was a great friend, I would say, a great council colleague, and also a great mentor to me. I still remember 6 years ago. It was my first day at the council, and she saw me kind of nervous and confused, and she just took me on the side and explained to me the process. She gave me so much support. She also explained to me when your budget report have to read, and it's kind of confusing, but she just went through the whole thing and she explained to me, and I interpreted it because I have to read it and understand it. So I would like to thank her for the great help she offered to me. She was just sitting next to me for many years, and we missed her very dearly. She had also attended many of Indian events at different places, and she made friends in one race. In the last few days, I just got calls and messages from hundreds of her friends, offering their prayers for her and for her family. I and my family really appreciate her services to the humanity, and especially to our township and its residents. The love she gave, the friendship she cherished, and the golden memory she left will be engraved in our hearts for many years to come. We did pray for her. We continue to pray for her. We express our heartfelt condolences to her family. We pray to God for an everlasting peace to her soul. May God bless her. May God bless her family. May God bless America. And also have some announcement. I would like to start with announcements of we have in Israel opened up 3 COVID testing centers in the last few weeks. Location 1, which was opened by the Axel Urgent Care of Israel. They are located at 740 US Highway 1 North, Israel, across from the Jose Tejas Diner. This facility is open 7 days a week. The hours are Monday to Friday, 7 to 9, and Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. For further information, you may call them at 732-874-5885. 5507, or you may go online at www.axelurgentcareofisling.com. The second location was opened by the COVID EMT company. They have opened a walk-in, rapid COVID testing and PCR COVID testing site on Green Street at 1200 Green Street, Islip, which is right across from the Country Farm convenience store in Islip. They have that trailer park on the east side of the curb, and most of the time you will see a police vehicle flashing the lights on. This center does both testing. You do not need to have an appointment. They are doing testing there for everyone at free of charge. The testing hours from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day of the week, meaning they are open 7 days a week. Also, third site, which is open at the Hematology and Oncology Cancer Center at 530 Green Street, behind the Dunkin' Donuts on Route 1 North and Green Street. They have opened a COVID and antibody testing site on December 29, 2021. They are open from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. weekdays. Their phone number is 732-913-8500, extension 3. Also, we have an announcement about luncheon at our senior center. Every month we usually have luncheon at our senior center. This month, the luncheon at the 5 branches senior center was scheduled on this Friday, January 7th, but it has been postponed. The luncheon at the Oak Tree Senior Center will remain as scheduled, and it will be on Friday, January 21st, 2022, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also this year, we'll have Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day is coming on Monday, January 17th. My good friend Mukesh Kashiwala is working on to display photographic exhibition on Gandhiji and Martin Luther King Jr. at the Barron Art Centers, which is located at 582 Broadway Avenue, Woodbridge. Since they are in the process of removing the holiday train show from the Art Center, the opening date for this exhibition is not available at this time. But that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Griselle. Mr. Mitch. Thank you, Mr. President. Congratulations. I look forward to working with you in 2022 as your new Vice President. Once again, Mr. Ficarra, and also want to thank Mr. Small for having a great working relationship with him this past year. As far as Nancy Drumm, I can just sum it up. It's very tough to match the energy and enthusiasm that she had. Just remarkable. You've all nailed it on the head at describing her, but there was nobody like her. So I'll certainly miss her. And I say that on behalf of my office as well. She checked in almost daily, even in the last couple of weeks, and no matter who she talked to, you felt like that was your best friend calling you just to see how your day is going. So she will definitely be missed by everybody who knows her. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mitch. Director Hubner.
Nothing to see. Thank you, Council President.
Director Darden.
Nothing to see.
Director Brew.
Thank you, Council President. I have one item for action, and it's the amendment to the flood damage prevention ordinance, Chapter 22 of the revised ordinances. That's all I have. Thank you.
This is Commissioner Zelluga.
Thank you, Council President, and congratulations. We look forward to working with you and both Vice President Ficarra for this year. Good luck. I have two items on my agenda. I have a tax and sewer overpayment refund and a parking refund. Thank you, Council President.
Legal? If we can go right into the Board of Health agenda, Mr. Dennis Green is with us this evening.
Thank you, Council President. So I'm happy to update the Council on the Health Department's activities since our last Board of Health meeting. Our first item is January 1st begins our Health Department's annual dog licensing year. I would like to remind all the residents to remember to license their pets. We do prefer mailing renewals due to the ongoing COVID pandemic. Next up, the Health Department's Nursing Division held school-age immunization clinics for the standard required immunizations for school children again in December and November. Both were attended to capacity, and we are scheduling another clinic again this month. We are also fully involved in the COVID-19 pandemic response, and I want to thank everyone, the council and the administration, for their continued support. The mayor is continuing his weekly updates on the current COVID-19 cases in the community. I just want to add that the nursing division, environmental division continue to interface and inform with the local schools, preschools, businesses, and regarding the changes in the ever-changing guidelines. We continue to provide COVID-19 vaccination clinics. To date, we have provided 108 clinics administering 14,604 vaccinations. We are offering all 3 approved COVID vaccines, Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J, for initial, second, and booster doses for adults. In addition, we also are offering the Pfizer vaccine for ages 5 to 11. The immunization rates for the community continue to rise. Currently, it's 91% for ages 12 and up with at least 1 dose, and 80% for 12 and up, both doses. The age 5 to 11 range is 29%, which we should do better. 12 to 17 age is 1 dose at 80%. And boosters, we're at 39%, and we need to do better there also, and that's for all those people for their booster doses. Updated isolation and quarantine guidance. Based on the latest science and data, New Jersey Department of Health is updating its guidance for the general public to reflect the CDC's guidance, which shortens the recommended time for isolation from 10 days for individuals with COVID-19 to 5 days if they do not have any symptoms. That is followed by 5 days of wearing a mask when around others. New Jersey Department of Health is also updating changes to the recommended quarantine period for the general public who have been exposed to COVID-19. Per CDC guidelines, individuals who are unvaccinated should quarantine for 5 days, followed by a strict mask use for an additional 5 days. Individuals who have received their booster do not need to quarantine. However, they should wear a mask for 10 days following exposure. In closing, I want to encourage everyone who is not vaccinated to get vaccinated against COVID-19. If you are past 6 months since your second shot, you are due for a booster. The booster provides the most protection against the new variant, Omicron. The vaccines are safe, effective, and free. If we provide the vaccines at the Woodbridge Public Health Center. The clinics are currently by appointment only. You can get an appointment by calling 732-855-0600, extension 5004. For the month of January, the adult clinics are every Thursday, 1 to 6 p.m., and the children's clinics, aged 5 to 11, are Tuesdays, 4 to 6. Please call for an appointment. That is all I have tonight. Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Director Green. Please thank your entire staff for their hard work and dedication during this ongoing pandemic. Does anybody from the council have any questions for Director Green? Motion for adjournment?
Motion. Second.